Sony recently made one of the biggest pushes I've seen recently to get people off physical media into the digital age. Recently, the Sony group cut 250 jobs from the recordable media business Key Hub. Basically, there was a big chunk of people who worked in a job field that was part of making stuff into DVDs and physical media such as CDs and I won't say 8 tracks, but that's a good example. 8 tracks, cassettes, stuff like that. And cassettes and CDs are a bit on the rise as of late, but that's beside the point. So, one of the news sources that I read is Mainichi Japan. Basically, they've been reporting Japanese national news since like 1922. Very good, reliable source, especially if you're trying to get stuff like information from Japan. But according to the website here, the Sony Group Corporation will cut 250 jobs from its recordable media business Key manufacturing hub in northeastern Japan and officially offer early retirement packages to its employees, says a source as of Saturday, which this was reported the 29th, and I'm just now getting to it. The planned job cuts come amid a decline in demand of traditional storage formats such as Blu-ray disc, while streaming services are now the norm, which is very true. I'm not going to say that. A lot of people are going towards the way of digital and streaming, but it's also been back on the rise. I don't know where they're getting these numbers, but a lot of people are making demand of physical media now, especially when it comes to music and stuff like that. The manufacturing is based in Miyagi Prefecture, and currently has a workforce of 670. So they're knocking it down from 670 to about 420, oddly enough, believes it, but 420, and it's gonna affect it majorly, especially on the Japan side. So I'm very curious if this is gonna work its way over to the American publication of stuff as well. All I know is it's gonna take a big hit on anime DVDs, make them rise, especially if it comes to limited editions and stuff like that, especially if they only get a Japan-based release, which I have a couple things back there which were only released in Japan, so I can only imagine the prices going up. The electronics and entertainment conglomerate will also gradually cease production of optical disc storage media products such as Blu-rays, according to the sources. So they want to get out of it, and they weren't the only people to report on it. Game Rant also reported on it. A news report claims that Sony is gearing up to cut 250 staff, like we talked about, from that said recordable media business division, which, while these alleged layoffs aren't necessarily related to PlayStation, they could directly impact the gaming. So, as I mentioned before, Blu-rays, modern games, PS4, PS5, all that stuff for PlayStation is on Blu-ray discs. So I could see this greatly affecting video game prices and the production of physical video games. So companies like Limited Run are going to be a very big key factor in trying to keep physical media alive, especially with people like Microsoft pushing people off, making big layoffs, Sony doing this, and then people cutting their old stores off, like I've done before, reported on the Microsoft cutting off their old 360 store. That's long gone now, or no, it's at the end of July, my bad. July 29th is when the Microsoft store comes off. Same could happen to the PS3 store, which could cause a lot of prices to go up. I look at this as a way of, besides cutting jobs like Microsoft did for 10,000 people, by the way, Sony is definitely going to start going that way as well to try and push all these digital sales. And as I've said before, I do not agree with going just digital. With how a lot of games are nowadays, you don't actually own the disc anymore. Unlike the PS3 360 era around there, and most of the PS4 era, you actually own the game. You didn't have to go and wait for it to grab its online data packets to come and download it and allow you to play the game. You own them right off the bat, which is why I'm a big fan of preserving and try to keep physical media the way it is. That's why I like solo games, because they just gave you everything. Even Call of Duty's back in the day gave you everything. Now everything takes a while to get, and you actually really don't own the game now, because they can just yank it whenever they want. So this is a big problem I see coming to foreseeable future. And like I said, it wasn't just the few things. There were a bunch of different media source outlets reporting on this. Microsoft's newsletter even reported on this, oddly enough. So everywhere is looking at it and looking at the downside of this and saying, hey, they're all cutting ties and they're trying to get rid of the Blu-rays and everything of that nature and get rid of physical media, essentially. So what do you guys think about this? I see this as a problem, very big problem coming to fruition. And if we get away from physical discs, I don't know if it's going to be a good thing or not. I really do believe in the preservation of physical media, which is why I did a charity event for the Video Game History Foundation, because it's important. And with how things are, we could just lose the rights to owning the games that we buy. Especially now that things are costing $70 a video game, I want to have the rights and actually own the game and not just borrow the rights and they can just yank it from me at any moment. So let me know what you guys think. My heart goes out to all the people that are going to lose their jobs because, you know, it's a small company, well, portion as it is, with only 670 people. Now it's going down to 420. Kind of sucks, but let me know what you guys think. I love you all, appreciate you all, and I will see you all later. Bye-bye.